You drew on your mouth hole.
Oh, what?
You drew on your mouth hole.
When?
I don't know. You got a pen on your mouth hole.
Have I?
Yeah.
I didn't even touch the pen, have I?
Or maybe I drew on you.
Maybe.
I drew on myself, but I rubbed it off.
Is that alright?
It's all high up for me.
Oh!
That's fine. That's good.
Right,
But look.
I recorded all of that for me to edit. Hello. Okay.
She's not as tight as she could be. Ooh, don't say that. So hot. So hot.
Welcome to Cruise Next. My name is James Albarn. With me, as always, is Elsa Grace. Hello, Elsa. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm just melting.
It's too hot.
Melting
It's
today.
way too hot.
Oh God.
It's currently, I can't see the thermostat from it.
It's 32 degrees
But I think it might be 33 in here.
with no airflow. So
Yes.
it's Satan's arsehole. It's
Satan's
horribly hot.
arsehole indeed. Thank you very much for joining us today. This is your new favourite film podcast. And you know the drill by now. We pick a member of the crew from the film that we have been watching, and that leads us to our next film. It's a very simple concept, and it's very good. Today, visual artist
Visual effects.
Erik
artist.
Nordby from the movie Passengers led us to this week's movie, which is Detective Pikachu.
Oh, you butcher it, James. Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon.
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
Welcome to Rhyme City, a celebration of the harmony between humans and Pokémon.
Tim, your dad was a legend in this precinct. If you were anything like your dad...
I'm not.
I remember. You wanted to be a Pokemon trainer when you were young.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Someone there? Whoever you are, I know how to use this.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. I know you can't understand me, but put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
Did you just talk?
Whoa. Did you just understand me? Oh my God, you can understand me. Stop. I've been so lonely. They try to talk to me all the time. All they hear is Pika Pika.
You can hear him, right?
Pika Pika! Yeah, Pika Pika Pika. He's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
Can no one else hear him? I don't need a Pokemon, period.
Then what about a world-class detective? Because if you want to find your pops, I'm your best bet. We're gonna do this, you and me. There's magic that brought us together, and that magic is called hope. Listen up. We got ways to make you talk. Or mime.
Yeah.
So tell us what we want to know. Pipe. Yes. Okay. I can. Shoving. Pushing. My problem is that I push people away and then hate them for leaving.
He's saying you can shove it.
What? I can shove it? Okay, that's it. No, we're switching roles. I'm bad cop. You're good cop.
No, we're not cops.
In my head, I saw that differently.
This is where Elsa pretends she knows what Pokemon was all about.
I'm not even going to do a good job. It's about Pokemon.
It is.
It's about Pokemon. So, directed by Rob Letterman, it essentially takes place in the Pokeverse, which is Don't make that face. That is a real phrase used by Pokemon heads all over the shop. Is that what they're called? Pokemon fans? Pokeheads.
Pokeyheads. The pokesters.
The pokesters.
Yeah.
Pokeroonies. So essentially, we meet young Tim. Oh, young Tim. He's, bright-eyed 21-year-old doing great at his sales job, I think. Yeah, he's like a salesman, right?
Yeah. Isn't he in insurance or something?
Yeah,
No, I've made that.
potato.
Is he?
I don't know.
I think I've made that up.
Anyway,
I'm
his
confusing
father...
that with the Truman Show, which I watched the other day.
Oh, should have done that.
That's a proper film.
That. Oh no, let's start again.
No.
Start again. Pokemon Detective Pikachu takes place in the Pokeverse, and we meet young Tim, 21-year-old Tim, who receives word that his father has gone missing, has died.
Died.
Spoiler alert. In the start he's dead, and then he goes to Rhyme City, which does not have an H. It is Ryme. And basically, goes to pack up his dad's life and, close the flat and take his stuff out of his office and do the things that you do when someone passes in the detective world. And then meets Pikachu.
I was going to say he meets Ken Watanabe, but yes, he does. He meets Pikachu.
He does. Ken was a real highlight for me in this movie. He just brings such integrity to whatever project he's on.
I really like Ken Watanabe.
I very much enjoy him. Anyway, meets Ken, when he's packing up his dad's detective life, and then goes and he meets Pikachu and can understand what Pikachu is saying, which is the beginning of the journey. And essentially, this is where the spoilers are going to start to come into it. We meet Bill Nighy's character, who is Howard Clifford, who is essentially the Elon, the Steve Jobs, if you will, of Rhyme City and of the Pokeverse. And the mystery starts to unravel. He starts to discover that his father was probably offed, probably murdered. And, just the good guy Tim trying to find justice and save his dad. With the Pikachu that he understands.
And you've missed a crucial part of that, which I'm sure we'll get into, is that Pikachu is voiced
by Ryan Reynolds. Everyone's favorite Canadian. Sorry, Michael Bublé. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think this film would have been as funny, or I don't think the jokes would have landed in the same place if Ryan Reynolds hadn't been bringing us that Deadpool energy as Pikachu. Mm-hmm. So I get it, but also, would I have cast Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu?
Well, let's get to that.
Right,
later.
I get ahead of myself.
First, what was so are you a Pokemon fan, Elsa?
Yeah, we should definitely.
We should do
full
Pokemon
disclosure.
first, right?
I do not know. Most of the notes that I made for this are just Pokemon names spelt wrong. I wrote Mushu at one point instead of Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think Mewtwo. Just think Bono.
But then I'll just be saying U2.
Or Bono.
Or Bono. Or glasses. So yeah. No, not a big Pokemon fan. And actually, a lot of the time, I do quite like to, dip into franchise movies like this and just see how I land, see how I fare. And I did not feel like this was one that you could comfortably get into not knowing anything about the Pokeverse. So, for example, the whole thing of, him talking to Pikachu and them having that line of communication was so lost on me. I thought that meant that's when you have found your Pokemon. So the fact that they were talking to each other, I was oh, he's found his Pokemon. Because, in the start, there's a whole scene where he's struggling to get his...
you have to find a Pokemon partner.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, that's cute. He's found it. Why are they fighting it so hard? They should just embrace that they're each other's human and Pokemon. And actually, apparently that's not... You're not supposed to understand them. Which we now know is because the spirit of his father was trapped inside the Pikachu. What a legit storyline that was. But at the time I was like, yeah, this is Pokemon. I had no clue. So a lot of the stuff, and Mewtwo, apparently that is the second generation, some kind of mutant of the first Mew. So like there was a lot there that was totally lost on me. I kind of wish that I had watched it with someone who is a Pokemon person, and I would have got more.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what reaction I gave when you said that we were going to be watching Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
It was anticlimactic
But
at
I
best.
think I was probably somewhat disparaging. And yeah, I've never been a Pokemon fan. And actually the bits I enjoyed of this film, because I wouldn't say I hated this film. I wouldn't say I like it was fine. You know what I mean? Like I had a decent enough time with it. But the bits that I found myself enjoying most were probably like the least Pokemon-y bits. I was enjoying some of the Pikachu interactions. Even though
that wasn't a Pokemon bit. What?
No, but like I was enjoying the interaction between the characters of Pikachu and Tim.
Oh yes, I like seeing the two worlds collide. I quite enjoyed that.
But the bits that I enjoyed less were when it would get into sort of stuff that like I guess Pokemon fans would be excited about. So like when there's like a Poke battle that goes on for about 10 minutes, and it's like a whole action sequence, I lost interest at that stuff or any of the stuff building that was sort of more lore about the Pokemon world, and it didn't interest me as much.
But that was the part that I was like, now I get to see what y'all do. You know, like Pikachu, I didn't know that he like shot electricity out his butt. Like that was lost on me. No, okay. Pokemon, I'm not going to explain what Pokemon is. I've been told that I do not need to do that by James, which is a good thing too, because I'd be like, it's a cartoon. It's so like obviously the anime of Pokemon is the whole thing is that they do battles with them, right? They catch them and they do battles. Right. But my only experience really vaguely as a child remember seeing the anime of Pikachu doing the whole Pikachu and like legit until very recently, probably because of this film, thought that was a sneeze. Chew. I was like, Pikachu. I was like, God, summer must just be a really volatile time for him with the pollen, you know? Like, I didn't realize there was like an electricity thing. So that I actually found that I quite liked that part. I just felt really sad that they were all jacked up on this giggle juice, whatever it was, that like they were all high. I was like, they don't want to be doing this. That poor friggin' giant fish that turned into like a really angry. Oh God, this is where any Pokemon listeners, we're losing them here. What was that called?
It's okay. Here's a bit of Pokemon trivia though.
Pokefish
thing. I don't know what it's called, but the bit of Pokemon trivia that I just read is that Pikachu's name comes from the Japanese Pika, meaning electricity, and Chew, meaning mouse.
Oh, okay. It's because
like
I strictly just speak Mandarin, so that was lost on me that I didn't.
That's a shame.
I know. I'm sorry. Drop the ball.
Did you just talk?
Whoa. Did you just understand me? Wait. That is heavy eye contact right there. You heard me.
No.
Yes, you did. Oh my God, this is amazing. You can understand me. Stop. I've been so lonely.
So let's talk about. Well, I guess because we've sort of mentioned it. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds because that is kind of central to the film, and that is what probably if you're not a Pokemon fan, that's probably the thing that's going to attract you to the film is the idea of Ryan Reynolds sort of taking the piss out of it a little bit in that sort of Deadpool kind of way, but not really taking the piss out of it. But
I mean, it was what it was, you know. It was a cute Deadpool, but it's not like that's never been done before, you know. Like that's the whole freaking premises for Ted. That's the whole premises for Paul, you know. Like
Paul wasn't
gnarly.
cute.
No, but when you meet him, you think he's going to be this like intelligent alien being that's going to tell you about the universe.
And he's a stoner.
Yeah, he's just like a stoner that eats dead birds and shit, you know? Like, so that kind of like gnarly, dirty, humored man inside a very small, cute, animated creature. It's not that original.
No.
But I mean, it's still pretty funny at times.
Yeah, I think
There was no paternal vibe, though. I'll say that. Like, there was no part of his characterization of Tim's dad inside Pikachu that was paternal.
No, which is weird given that was the whole twist at the end.
Yeah, so it was very much like Ryan Reynolds inside Pikachu. It wasn't like my dad inside a... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, there was no...
He was... At no point did you think, like, was it set up that Tim's dad was this sort of wisecracking... Like, Tim's dad was portrayed as a very serious man. And so if his
just
spirit...
loved the job. He was just married to the job.
If his
couldn't
spirit,
be a father.
If his spirit is inside Pikachu, then why is Pikachu so just like jokey and like wisecracking all the time? I don't know. It didn't really make sense in terms of...
Yeah, Tim's dad was a baller. Like, he was not... Yeah, the whole thing was like his deterioration in the relationship with his son was that it was because he was always at work because he took the job so seriously and then the mum died, right? And he wasn't there for the mum's death because he was away chasing crime.
It would have worked if Pikachu was really... I mean,
if he was like sat there doing taxes when Tim arrived in the house?
But if like Pikachu was like, well, we've got to get to the bottom of this, like this is serious, and actually maybe like Tim is a bit more jokey aroundy, kind of, because Tim's pretty serious, right?
Oh, okay. No, I will interject now because I've just remembered the fact that the whole thing is that he's lost his memory. He doesn't remember who he is. So Father Ryan in Pikachu, we'll call him Daddy Ryan.
Yeah, but that doesn't change a character, though, does it? Like change.
No, but like he was still like, we've got to get to the bottom of this. Let's get into that lab. Fuck you, Rita Ora. Like he was still very. We'll talk about that. He was still very like, no, we've got to do it. And then when he felt like he couldn't do it, he got very depressed that he couldn't do the job, and he was very self-doubting.
I suppose.
But yeah, he didn't. I don't know. Maybe we were being too harsh there on Daddy Ryan. I think maybe he was okay.
To be honest, though, actually, so until you've said this, because I was very much watching the film thinking, why is Ryan Reynolds Pikachu? For me, his voice did not fit that character. And I knew what they were doing, like we talked about before with like Ted and Paul and stuff like that. I got it. But I was also like, this doesn't fit for me. Like, I enjoyed Ryan Reynolds because there were a couple of moments that he made me chuckle and stuff, but it didn't fit with me. And then when it was revealed it was his dad at the end all along, and then Ryan Reynolds was his dad, I was like, oh, now this makes a little bit more sense. But then it still didn't necessarily have to be Ryan Reynolds. And I'm not shitting on Ryan Reynolds. I think he's perfectly great. And who doesn't like Ryan Reynolds at this point? But like...
Hugh Jackman?
Does he not?
No, I'm sure that it's all dressed. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? It could have been...
I think Ryan Reynolds is a very funny guy.
So there I was, in the middle of nowhere with a bad case of the forgetsies. The only clue to my past is Harry's name and address inside this hat. So I made my way to the apartment, and that's when I found you. I don't know. Maybe Harry got in too deep.
Deep in what?
You know, mixed up with the wrong crowd, that kind of thing. Happens to the best of us. The debts pile up, the walls close in. Right becomes wrong, wrong becomes wrong. Wait, who are you calling?
No one. Yeah, no, that sounds great. This menu looks really nice.
Wait, I'm confused. Are you hearing other voices besides mine?
All I want to know is why I can't understand you.
Oh, can't help you there, kid. Like I said, I have amnesia. Can't remember a darn thing.
Okay, so you're a talking Pikachu with no memories who's addicted to caffeine.
I could stop whenever I want. These are just choices. Another round, extra shot, black as night. Thank you, sweetie. Look, I'm a great detective, but I can't solve my own mystery if I have no memory.
Then how do you even know you're a detective?
Well, I can feel that in my jellies.
James, what is your favorite Pikachu? Wait, Pokemon?
What's your favorite Pikachu?
Look, I'm going to be honest. I struggle to get that one right. Pikachu is the little yellow guy with the electric butt, and Pokemon is the whole...
Okay, so this is what I need to figure out.
Uh-oh.
Is there more than one Pikachu? Is Pikachu just a species of Pokemon?
Yes, but is he not the last surviving one of his... Like, isn't the whole, like, sad character arc of Pikachu that he is the last of his kind?
I don't know. I'm looking it up now.
Pokemon. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
What's my favourite Pokemon, though, as you're asking?
Yeah, why not? That was featured in this movie, please.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be able to tell you the names of them. I like Pikachu. I thought, actually, the little CGI Pikachu that follows Tim around for the whole film was pretty adorable.
I enjoyed the CGI. I enjoyed how the CGI met with the real world, but I felt like it was very Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. You know, like I felt like it could have been like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Freaking amazing. That film was so like just flawless, and it's old. Like that's an old film, and so I don't feel like
it
was
like
as good as it could have been.
Almost looked real. Pikachu, I think, fit in the environment really well. And then there were the other slightly more cartoony Pokemon that kind of stood out.
Are you going to say the mime?
The mime, but also I think Mewtwo didn't look real, right? I don't know. It's harder because Pikachu's essentially like a little fluffy hamstery thing. So maybe it's because it could be it looks like it could be more real. Whereas Mewtwo's all this sort of like smooth skin, almost like lizardy thing, and it just didn't
like
work.
Putin.
Yeah. But I think my favourite Pokemon, going back to your question, were probably the Pikachu. And then I quite liked the little one that Tim tries to catch at the start. There was like the little bone guy who was like really angry.
Oh, he was like a little it was called something. I can only think of Bone Daddies, which is a ramen bar in London. I know that's not it, but like...
Something like that.
Bonio? No, that's a dog biscuit. We are not doing justice here to Pokemon.
You're not listening to this podcast for our Pokemon expertise, though.
Why are you listening to this podcast?
I don't know.
What's happening with you? Let's talk about. Throw it back to them. Let's
go do something more important.
Yes, he was. I liked his chutzpah.
Yeah. Although I will say one of my favorite scenes is the mime scene.
Also one of my favorite scenes. That's in my notes. Where is it?
She wrote good sound effects in the mime scene.
Yeah, sound effects were good.
But they were. I noticed that when watching it. I was like, that was very well done.
I really liked that scene. Yeah, that actually did make me laugh out loud.
What is that?
Silent but deadly. Apologies, my tummy's bad from all the coffee.
No, ew, get off. I meant that.
Oh, that. It's a Mr. Mime. They're the worst. Silent but annoying.
Does he recognize you? I think he recognizes you.
Well, I was Harry's partner, so I would have been with him.
Harry's informant is a Pokemon.
Get him!
He's barely moving.
Don't tell him that. Oh, he's on a bike. Come on, he thinks he's getting away. Look, quick. Get in front of him. Cut him off. You can make it.
Stop.
Oh, no. He's going down hard, Tim. Should have worn a helmet. I hope he makes it.
Come on, this is ridiculous.
I'm good cop, you're bad cop.
We're not cops.
Grow some berries. You're bigger and tougher looking than I am. Stand up straight. Listen up. We got ways to make you talk. Or mine.
Yeah.
So tell us what we want to know. Why was Harry Goodman here, and what did it have to do with the R? Pipe. Yes, okay, I can. Shoving, pushing. My problem is that I push people away and then hate them for leaving.
He's saying you can shove it.
What? I can shove it? Okay, that's it. No, we're switching roles. I'm bad cop, you're good cop.
No, we're not cops. Oh, God, that's a very hard wall. Oh, yeah. Mr. Mime has the ability to make invisible walls.
Yes, I know. I happen to be a Pokemon too, remember?
Look, Harry figured this guy out somehow. I think the trick is getting inside his head. I have an idea.
Can we talk about the casting? Because I think the casting is odd.
Hold up. Goes both ways. Who's my favorite Pokemon?
Oh, sorry. Who's your favorite Pokemon?
I don't know. I don't have any. I don't know them that well. No, I do.
Go on.
And I actually know the name of it.
Go on.
It's Psyduck.
Oh, yes. You liked the weird duck thing.
Because, like, when the anxiety that you get, the headache, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to explode. Relate, you
Probably
know? Relate.
how
That was-
any Pokemon fans listening to this podcast are feeling right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're with you. Psyduck is with you.
Yeah.
But that for me was the most relatable part of this movie. I was like, yeah,
I
there for the
enjoyed the
duck.
bit where they were running away from the
The giant
from
turtles.
the other Pokemon.
Oh,
And
that wasn't what I thought.
they were
you
getting like
saying.
chased through the forest. No, they were on the giant turtles, but you didn't realize it at that point. And they're in the forest. And then
What were they being chased by?
they were being chased by sort of monkey-like things. No, they weren't.
They
That
were
was
like
at the
little
start.
dinosaur-esque.
Yeah, and then
Oh God.
throughout the film, they've been telling the duck not to get angry, and then Pikachu's like, "No, actually, very much get angry right now."
Not angry, stressed,
anxious.
man.
Get a
We're not
headache. That's
angry
what he said.
people. We're
He said,
just
"Get a headache."
anxious. Get a headache. Get a headache. Yeah. And they're running, and he's on her back. That was a bold move for her. I would not be carrying that thing around on my back. I just would never take it with me anywhere. I'd leave it in like a really calm Zen dojo with like
Like a
running
little
water.
spa. That was
Yeah.
quite fun as well, where Pikachu was having to massage him in the back of the car to keep him
Yeah, that was
calm.
fun.
That's fine. Anyway, can we talk about the casting in this film? Because it's a bit all over the place. So you've got, obviously we've touched on Ryan Reynolds and Justine Smith. Catherine Newton, I feel a bit sorry for because she plays the sort of love
Yeah.
interest of Tim. She's a reporter, but she's not given
I
a lot to.
didn't love that.
But she just it wasn't. I felt a bit sorry for her because I thought, quite
It was just a bit blah.
like
And then
she
actually,
didn't have much to do.
well, we've just had a conversation pre-recording, which we try not to do. We don't tend to like to talk to each other outside of the podcast.
We don't even like each other.
Yeah,
really,
just we're sitting really far apart right
Yeah.
now. James,
sweating.
what did you say? She's an NPC.
Oh yeah, so that was
Supposedly.
supposedly. So according to the trivia section of the IMDb, supposedly she is she's representative of an NPC in a Pokemon game.
Which for the non-players among us means a non-player
Playable
character.
So like the little
it's
characters you interact with in the game.
the
that
ones
are
that
controlled by
forward the
computer.
narrative. Yeah.
Yeah.
That come
And-
in and but like she legit after hearing that I was like, yes, that's what it was. Because when he comes into the flat for the first time, his dad's flat, she's just fucking there with that vibrating duck, and she's like, "Oh, I knew you'd show up eventually to pick up your mail."
You can actually
so he's
imagine
like,
the.
okay,
I don't know if
pick up the mail.
you've ever played a Pokemon game in your life, but you can imagine the little text scrolling along
I have
the
played
bottom.
games, but I have not played
Because
Pokemon.
in like Pokemon games,
Yeah.
it's like just text. They don't actually. You don't hear them speak.
I mean, that is it in almost all games, James.
no, they have like voice actors nowadays.
They do now, but like back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you think that
but
I
you
had
could
that on
almost
my Game Boy
imagine-
Color,
That
Harry
would
Potter
actually-
2?
That would have almost been a fun little thing if they'd have actually like put the text up going along the bottom as she spoke.
Do you know what film did NPCs really good? Was Jumanji.
Yes.
That was good. And that was funny. They really like
I really liked
that was,
the new Jumanji films. Actually, I think this is a thing about this film is that I think they could have lent into the, like how the Lego movie is sort of very self-referential and takes the piss out of itself a bit, and
everything is awesome.
and Jumanji does to an extent as well. I think it could have done that a bit more.
Yeah.
It could have like filled it. So like if they were making her an NPC character, then they should have really pushed that. You know what I mean? Rather than
Yeah.
it
Maybe
feel
they
like her
weren't though.
character's
Maybe
just flat. Yeah, maybe it's just an excuse.
Yeah. It's a good excuse. I enjoyed it. It made me feel better about her being such a blah character when actually like she could have been so much more. She
Yeah.
could have been the femme butt kicking character of this movie, and just fell short for me.
You also have the model and actor Suki Waterhouse playing just a woman in a suit with sunglasses. She's like in the film fairly
the fighty
frequent.
one.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's like actually a Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
a shape-shifting Pokemon. So that was fun for her.
Oh, yeah. See, again, that was like lost on me. And I'm pretty good normally with like predicting narratives. So I think had I known Pokemon, I would have got from the start what she was.
Yeah, I think so. But I get like, that's the thing. Like, if you don't know Pokemon, some of the film's going to be slightly lost on you, I think. Ken Watanabe was good. We mentioned him earlier. He's always...
I was frustrated for him, you know? I was like, Tim,
again,
you just respect Ken. You do what he says.
But also, again, like, Ken has a couple of scenes, doesn't really have much to do.
I was a bit worried that Ken was going to get killed off.
One thing I did predict was that Bill Nighy would be the big bad guy, because you don't have Bill Nighy in your film if he's not going to be the big bad guy. You know what I mean? If he's just going to be playing second fiddle to the guy who plays his son, Roger. I feel like it's got to be Bill Nighy's the baddie, right?
Okay, but here's the thing. I did not give this film enough credit to have a plot twist. So I was like, oh yeah, just straight up Bill's the good poor sad father and the son.
I saw it straight away. As soon as they got to his skyscraper,
I just didn't think they were capable of it.
And Bill Nighy was explaining plot points to them. I was like, Bill Nighy's the baddie. The next cast member on the list in front of me on Wikipedia from Bill Nighy is...
Stop giving away all our resources.
Rita Ora.
That's worth a mention. Rita Ora.
Playing Dr. Anne Laurent.
Rita Ora, who said that her taking this role was a, and I quote, no-brainer. So I think that we can assume that she is a pokester. She is a pokey head. You heard it here first. Rita Ora, she should for sure stick to singing.
I'm not even sure she should stick to that. To be perfectly honest.
I mean, she should stop, throwing all those COVID parties, Rita. But yeah, it was also like, I mean, for sure, her lines were terrible. The writers did not help her here. Her lines were not good. And I very much got the feeling that she was holding that clipboard because her lines were written on it. Like, did you get that too?
I'm sure I caught a sneaky glance at it a couple of times.
Yeah, there was one line, I swear, it was just something like, the generator's going down. And she went, the generator's glance going down. And I was like, oh, come on, Rita. Yeah, it wasn't good, wasn't great. I enjoyed the part where it exploded and she was thrown back from the force because... I just think that was her best bit, and it was probably a stunt double. So
she also recorded a song for the movie. Apparently,
was it Pokémon? No. Gonna catch 'em all.
But I'm guessing
we should
maybe
play that at some point
maybe
because
that's why she's in the film. Maybe it was like part of the deal,
That's why it was a no-brainer because they put it in her contract.
She told ABC Radio, "I love Pokemon. I love Pikachu. I've always loved it since I was a kid. I never really could afford the computer stuff, so I only got the cards, but I remember just being in school and collecting the cards, and people in my school used to sell cards to each other." That was her.
Oh my God, maybe she wrote her own lines for the movie because that was beige. I feel bad that we're throwing so much shade towards Rhea, but I think that she'll bounce back from this.
Because she also, that's a point. She also sung a song and appeared in one of the 50 Shades of Grey films. So she's got form on this.
What? Okay, yeah. I haven't seen those films, but was she in a sex scene?
No. She's at like I think she
Did
might
she
be at
play
a
a mad
party.
scientist?
No, she's at a party, I think. Hang on, I'm going to look up Rita Ora on IMDb.
Don't lie, James. You've clearly watched these films multiple times.
I've seen all of them.
How many are there? What do you mean? There are 3?
Yeah.
Are there 3 books? Or did they space them out like The Hobbit?
Yeah, no, it's like a trilogy, I think.
I'll get on it.
Oh, she's in 2 of the 50 Shades of Grey films.
Recurring character. Nice one, Rita.
Now this is a gripe I have with IMDb, is when singers who also want to be actors list all of their music videos on their IMDb page.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't
count.
Like,
I'm going to credit
acting,
all of my Instagram photos on my IMDb, and I'll have like 15 credits because I don't post that much.
Yeah, what was it? She was in 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker.
I don't know.
And 50 Shades 3. She was in all three.
Looks like most of the files are corrupted.
Uh-oh. Another one of those holograms.
Day 42. After much trial and error, we perfected a stable method to extract Mewtwo's DNA.
It's Mewtwo. No, wait. Wait, Mewtwo came from this place?
Day 60. Clinical trials proven successful. The inhalant results in confusion and the total loss of free will, which in turn makes the Pokémon go wild. We've designated this chemical as Serum R.
They used Mewtwo to make R. And we're testing it at the battles.
Day 68. The neural link is operational. Alert. Red. No. We're losing power in the containment.
How do we feel about the storyline of this movie? Just in general, like just...
I felt like I'd seen it before.
Yes, exactly. This was not an original storyline.
No.
And I think actually this was the third concept that they came up with. So I'd be super interested to know what the first two were.
I think the first two probably had a lot more Rita Ora in it.
Probably. They probably also had, I don't know, Madonna in it. I can imagine Madonna like having several Do you know what I mean?
I could imagine Madonna as like an evil Pokemon trainer.
It's the bra. That's why.
Yeah. And she'd be wearing all the leather and like the gloves and stuff like she usually does.
And
she
probably beats them.
And she'd be like, I need a Pikachu. And then she'd like...
That's so accurate
she would
to
like,
how she talks.
Yeah. That's how she would talk in the film.
I turned around. I thought she was here.
Yeah. And she would go out and she'd steal... This is a sequel. Hey, who distributed this film? Is it Warner Brothers? Warner Brothers need to hire me, right? Because I've now come up with the plot for Detective Pikachu.
What?
Detective Pika 2.
Oh, damn!
Yeah. So Madonna,
drop that mic.
Madonna is an evil Pokemon trainer. Rita Ora works for her. She didn't die in the factory explosion, but now she's got an eye patch.
And they're lovers.
Well, maybe. It's implied,
it's an
because
abusive
it's a major studio movie, they don't want to go full out on any sort of LGBTQ inclusivity.
So every time they're about to kiss,
market.
they just cut the camera away and show a Pokemon doing something cute. Yeah.
And
or maybe a waterfall.
And so Ryan Reynolds is living happily with his son, Tim, who really at this point needs to move out away from his parents because I think he's at least like mid-20s.
His mum is dead. Nice one, James.
And Madonna steals the Pikachu. I don't know why, but she wants a Pikachu. And she steals the Pikachu. And then Ryan Reynolds and Tim have to team up to fight off Madonna and Rita Ora.
And her many dancers.
And...
who are all Pokemon.
Maybe she's playing herself. Maybe Madonna is playing herself.
I don't think... I'm really sorry. I don't think I'm not gonna see this film.
Maybe would you have seen the first one? Had it not been for this podcast,
Had it
would you have
not,
seen the film?
I don't know, you know.
Come on, Detective Pikachu.
Okay, well, look, Detective Pikachu, I would almost see that just for the name.
Thank you.
Just for the name. But like, no. So, okay, so Pokemon Detective Pikachu came out in 2019. It is now 2021. And I had not made moves to see this film. But I think I genuinely would have, like, if a friend was like, hey, I'm going to go see this, it's going to be hilarious, do you want to come? I probably would have said yes, because I actually did quite enjoy Ted. And to me, I would just equate the two things. It's going to be quite similar because it's Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. So yeah, I probably would have gone to see it. But do I wish that I had, you know, I knew more about Pokemon first? Yes, probably. Is this the first one? Was there one before this?
No, this is the first one.
Oh.
I mean, I think there have been other Pokemon films, but I think they're all animes.
Yeah.
I actually think this might be the first live action. It is. It's the first live action Pokemon film.
There's another one coming, right?
Well, apparently, but like no one really knows. They have started writing another one, but.
So, I mean, that's been in the last like 4 years or so, there's been like a definite increase in anime being made into live action. Like Last Airbender and stuff like that, right? They've all done pretty well. Like, I don't think that Detective Pikachu was a huge flop. I think it had 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
They did well at the box office. I mean, I think.
But for Rotten Tomatoes, like that's pretty good for a shitty film, you know?
I mean, I feel like Pokemon's always going to do well at the box office anyway. It's kind of like Pokemon fans are going to go see Pokemon. It's like Star Wars. Like Star Wars fans, no matter how bad it gets, Star Wars fans are going to go see a Star Wars film. And so, like, Pokemon fans are going to go see Pokemon. They're going to enjoy it. And to be honest, if they release a sequel, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm disgusted. I'd be like, yeah, kind of makes sense. Like, it was kind of fun. The first one was fine. And I don't know. They're going to have to find some way of Pikachu being Ryan Reynolds again. There's going to have to be some convoluted plot reason for Pikachu to be able to speak again.
Yeah.
In the form of Ryan Reynolds. Because otherwise, it's like...
Start thinking, Madonna. How are you going to pull this one off?
And you know, did you not leave Detective Pikachu going, I need more Rita Ora in this film?
Did you?
Do you notice Diplo was the DJ as well?
I did, yeah. That I did get. Which I'm not that cool, but I did get that reference.
I was like, oh, it's Diplo.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. My first thought was, oh, Dead Mouse.
Oh, look, it's Daft Punk.
Well, yeah, then I was like, oh, no, it's not. It's Diplo. So I got there, but I got there on my own. And I feel okay about it.
Rams will meet you when you arrive.
Okay.
See you.
See ya. Hey, Dad?
Yeah?
You think I can stay with you for a while?
I'd like that, kid.
We've definitely not gone as in depth as we have with other films as we have with this one.
I know.
But I think that's just partly because...
We're in Satan's butthole.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, the heat. And then also, like, I feel like this is very much a film... I would say you can still watch it if you're not really into Pokemon. Like, we still kind of had an all right time with it. But I feel like...
Yeah, I legit didn't hate it.
But Pokemon fans are going to be much more into this than anyone else. And I just feel like it's hard for us to talk about it because for some parts of it, we literally have no idea what we're talking about because I can't remember the names of Pokemon apart from Pikachu.
And Psyduck.
And Psyduck.
And Squirtle, who I do not believe was in this film, but
I think I saw
know
a
that
Squirtle
name.
at the start, like in the town.
Yeah.
But I was a bit disappointed that Squirtle didn't feature more. So how many Rita Auras are you rating
God.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu? The name of
Out of
the name of
5.
this episode of the podcast is going to include Rita Ora somewhere, by the way.
Out of 5, I'm going to go... all right. As a personal experience, 2.4 Rita Auras. But...
Too many Rita Auras.
That's because I think that's mostly because a lot of the film was lost to me. And actually, like, did I laugh? Yes. Did I think the visual effects were quite good? Yes. The pace, I didn't like the pace of this film very much at all. It dragged. It was long.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I thought it dragged. I also like there are a lot of parts that like you spotted a little bit early and you're like, oh, here we go. Like the balloons and the parade. I was like, well, they're all filled with R. For sure. Like there was a lot of, but was it a kid's film? It wasn't. What was the rating? No, it was like a 15.
I don't think it was a 15.
Yeah, there was all that sex and nudity.
That bit where Pokemons were just in that massive orgy.
Just humping the life out of each other.
I'm pretty sure it would have been like a PG, right? There was nothing in it that wouldn't be.
All right, then maybe we're being a little harsh on it.
It was a PG.
It was a PG. I give it 3.2 Rita Auras.
Yeah, because I thought that at points where like Pikachu found the bridge from the crash,
and he's like sad, like,
and he was like, he was like, oh yeah, he was like, oh, I'm on the bridge from the crash. And I was like, I know, Pikachu, and then I thought, well, maybe
kids
that's
know?
for like kids, you know.
Just doing it for the kids, James.
I would give it.
Too much plot explaining for me, but yeah, you're right.
A lot of very exposition,
a lot
especially
of Bill
Rita Ora.
Nye.
I know we're shitting on Rita Ora, but her scene was literally exposition, which, to be fair to her, is tough to deliver. I will give it 2 Rita Auras.
Oh, really?
Okay.
It emoted for me. I made me feel for the Pokemons.
You only gave it a 0.4 extra Rita Ora. That's just like a Rita Ora arm.
Was it 0.4? You know I'm dyscalculate.
You said 2.4 Rita Auras.
Yeah, and then I bumped it up to 3.2 for the kids.
Okay. I would give it, I would say, for me, 2 Rita Auras, because I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't care about Pokemon. But...
That was too brutal.
The fact that I still kind of fairly enjoyed it, had a decent time with it, means that it was fine. It gets a 2. If you're a Pokemon fan, I think you're probably giving this like a 3.5. I still don't think you're going to be blown away by it.
I reckon you'd be saying 4 and up.
So we've reached that point in the podcast where I go into the credits of Pokemon Detective Pikachu and give Elsa 3 crew members to pick from, and then from that will be our next film next week. So... Elsa.
Yes.
You can have the post-production supervisor, Lisa Dennis. The lead render systems engineer, Craig Dibble.
Dibble.
Or the storyboard artist, Benton Jew.
Benton Jew?
Yes.
Lisa Dennis, Craig Dibble, Benton Jew.
Yeah.
He was the lead story artist?
He was the storyboard artist.
I didn't see the storyboards. I don't know how talented Benton is. You know,
quite
like
talented. He's worked on a lot of stuff.
Has he?
I think people like Benton.
Benton Jew.
Okay, so Benton Jew, we will be watching the Nicolas Cage classic.
Oh my God.
National Treasure.
I'm so here for it. With Diane, right? Kruger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage and Sean Bean.
Oh my God, it's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So join us next time.
Get your Declarations of Independence out. Get the lemon juice out.
join us next time when we will be watching and discussing National Treasure. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.